guys, it's been a little bit since we made a video, and so today I've got a new subject for you. Today's subject is going to be active shooters and how to respond versus how one idiot in particular is going to tell you how to respond to an active shooter. You might be asking yourself, why do I get to tell you how not to do? Well, I do have training on how to respond to an active shooter. I have Homeland Security training. I have local law enforcement training, because there are programs out there that even, yes, you, a general person in the general public, no law enforcement experience whatsoever, can take, so you know how to properly handle an active shooter situation. Now, the reason this video is coming up is because recently we had a bonehead idiot decide to make his own active shooter response video, and there are some things in here that I want to go ahead and get right out in the open that I do not want you guys to do, because some of this guy, let's just go ahead and take this into account. This guy's a moron. This guy is a convicted felon. He's living overseas in a different country so he can possess firearms, because if he was here on U.S. soil, his ass would be thrown in jail right now. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull this guy's video footage and we're going to dissect it.
Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical CEO, and today we're going to talk about how to deal with an active shooter, okay? And there's a lot of misinformation out there around a lot of the subjects that I discuss, and this is another one of those subjects. We have now started here at Bone Tactical a new playlist called the Tactical Brief, all right? It's going to be a tactical brief with myself. There is a good possibility that we'll be doing tactical briefs with some guest speakers and some guests to the channel in the near future, but this is Tactical Brief with me, Mr. Bone, and this tactical brief is on how to deal with an active shooter. Now, there's three basic topics and subsections of this topic, if you will, that I'm going to cover in this video, and those three subtopics are: one, don't be a hero, or what that basically means is don't get more people killed. So being a hero will definitely, in this situation, get more people killed than already could.
Okay, so I told you guys, you're going to see some of the do's and don'ts. All right, in an active shooter situation, you have what is called the run, hide, fight method, or also sometimes you'll hear it thrown around as the AD method: avoid, deny, defend. Right? In an instance of you have nowhere to run to, you have nowhere to hide, the shooter has rounded the corner, you're fixing to be in his crosshairs, you're fixing not to be hidden anymore, your best option is to fight. Whether you're carrying a firearm or not, fight is your last option. And you're going to use dirty fighting tactics. I know a lot of jobs won't let you carry firearms. There's plenty of those out there. As a matter of fact, it's usually an offense that will get you terminated if they catch you carrying a firearm at work in a lot of places. Fight dirty. Don't fight fair. When I say fight dirty, be close enough to where the shooter is to attack with surprise and stealth. The shooter rounds the corner, does not see you instantly, and you have a pair of scissors, or you have a letter opener, you have pens in your hands, you have a laptop computer, you have a desktop computer tower, you have a chair. Use it. Fight dirty to knock the person the hell out. And if you have something sharp, I want you to aim at critical areas, such as the groin, such as the neck, such as the eyes. If you don't have anything, your hands can be used as lethal weapons or as weapons to incapacitate. Gouge the eyeballs with your thumbs. Kick as hard as you can in the groin, and also grab the throat to choke. Don't fight fair, fight dirty. Being a hero is not going to get more people killed. Usually, when an active shooter situation happens, usually the majority of the time, the person is taken out long before the police ever arrive on scene, and the person is taken out by the people they're attacking. Do not listen to this moron.
Potentially be killed in an active shooter situation. So that's what you definitely don't want to do, is you don't want to get more people killed. The second subtopic is what bag to pack, all right, or to pack a bag, all right. So the second subtopic is packing a bag or having a bag prepared. And the third subtopic is the actual real how to deal portion and the tactics portion. So the how to deal with an active shooter is how to defeat and effectively win in that situation, and that's with surprise, violence of action, and precision. So the element of surprise and the element of precision are so incredibly important during an active shooter situation. We will discuss that in detail, and I've got to say that those two go hand in hand, the not being a hero, because if you are not really squared away, well-trained, experienced, and ready to deal with an active shooter, don't even try it. Don't even think about it, okay? You guys know 100% if you're ready, okay? If you're squared away, if you're...
Okay, yes, you need to prepare and be ready, because an active shooter can happen at any point in time, at any given location. You never know when it's going to happen. And you don't have to have a firearm to take out an active shooter. Like I said before, fighting is the last option. Your best bets are usually to run and hide, right? You run if you can, you hide if you can't run, and you fight if it's the only option available, right? You don't have to have a firearm to take out an active shooter. An active shooter can be taken out simply by using your hands, by using equipment that's available on site at the time that it starts happening, and you only attack if you have no other option, and you subdue the attacker. That's how you defeat an active shooter. Become a survivor. Don't become a victim.
Trained and experienced than you are. If you're not, guys, just don't try and deal with it, because it's very likely that you are going to get more people killed. But I'm going to discuss this option, this having a bag option. This is the Gray Man Operations Pack from Bone Tactical. All right, www.bonetactical.com. And it is a great pack that doesn't give away anything about you. So the first thing that I will mention is you do want to have the bag packed in a way that just looks like a normal commuter bag of some.
Okay, guys. So
yes,
what
you
he's
need to
talking about a
prepare
bag
and
be ready,
because
not a bad
idea
idea. Can happen at
However,
any point in time.
what should
at
be
any
noted
given
is
location.
it's called a go bag.
You never know when it's going to happen,
And
it's up to your company and your employers. You don't have to have a firearm to take out an active
merchants
shooter.
that you go to,
Like I said before,
to have go bags ready.
Fighting
in case
is the
of
last
an active
option.
shooter.
Your
happening.
best bets
These go
are
bags
usually
can be
to
stockpiled
run
with first aid
and
equipment.
hide.
They can have
right.
equipment
You run if you
necessary
can,
to
you
pass
hide
off
if
to
you
law
can't
enforcement
run,
officers responding
and
to
you
the active shooter
fight
call.
if it's the only
They
option
serve
available.
some sort of useful purpose other
Right.
than
You don't have
just
to have a
the
firearm to
person
take out an
grabbing
active
the go
shooter.
bag.
An active shooter,
These go bags
can
are
be taken out
usually,
simply by using
a
your
school will
hands,
have
by using equipment
go
that's
bags so you can
available
place like
on site,
a red
at the
or a
time that it
green
starts
card
happening,
with the room number
and you
in the
only
windows.
attack
So it lets
if
law
you have
enforcement
no
know
other
that everybody's
option.
okay in that room, and for a green
And you
card and for a
subdue
red
the
card,
attacker.
it would show that there's
That's
people
how
that are
you
injured
defeat
in
an
that
active
room
shooter.
and that they need
Become
to
a
get medical
survivor.
attention quickly.
Don't become a victim.
This is a backpack, easy to carry, really heavy duty, well built, and allows you to carry this anywhere without people thinking, oh man, look, he's got a firearm, okay? So that's kind of what you're really trying to go for there. So the bag is definitely a consideration. Grab a good bag. This bag I have packed with a bunch of bug out survival gear that's all also available from www.bonetactical.com. I have added some extra stuff. All of this stuff that you see here, I'm not going to get into detail on. It's all available from bonetactical.com. I keep a pair of shooting glasses, all right, ballistic lens glasses in the bag. Hearing protection, ear protection in the bag, all right? When I say precision, I really mean precision, okay? And the reason that I say precision is so important is because consider the situation of an active shooter. First of all, surprise and precision are the two crucial things in an active shooter situation, because you've got a person, 99% of the time it's a guy, so you've got a guy performing an act of terror, whether he was bullied in high school or whether he's a Muslim, all right? Those are also the leading mentally unstable people that are religious fanatics of the Muslim type. It's just a religion that's very hate-driven religion, okay? We're going to keep it real here, and the religious fanatics of the Muslim faith are they're called in the Quran death to infidels. The rest of us are infidels, so it's a religion that calls for murdering of innocent people and Christians like myself.
Okay, so this guy just said that it's mentally unstable people, white people, Christian fundamentalists, or Muslims. That's not true. That's not an accurate description of an active shooter. Pay attention to this clip from a TED Talk with an actual San Antonio law enforcement officer from a local sheriff's office. This talk happened in 2018, and a year prior to this talk was the Las Vegas shooting, and just a few days after that was the shooting of a Baptist church just outside of San Antonio. And this is one of the officers that actually responded. So I want you to pay attention to this clip.
Who is this shooter? We have a handful of women, but the majority of the shooters have been a male acting alone. And the age ranges from teenagers to senior citizens. And he is coming from any race, ethnic, or religious background. So I just told you, active shooter can happen anywhere, anytime, any place, and the shooter could be anyone.
As this law enforcement officer just explained, it can be anybody from any ethnic background, any race, any religious background, for any number of reasons, right? I'm going to leave some links in this video, and there is going to be another video coming soon after this one that goes more in depth on how to actually prepare for an active shooter situation. It is something I recommend that everybody does, watches, and listens to. There's a lot more of these that you can talk to. If you don't know what the active shooter plan is for your current employment, right? Talk to your employers. Find out what their active shooter plan is. If they don't have one, there's resources available to businesses, to individuals that you can take, like I have taken, and it will train you how to prepare for the worst case scenario in active shooter. And active shooters are a horrible situation. Let's go ahead and be honest about it. The way that Bone Tactical has approached it is not the correct way to approach an active shooter situation. I have done countless hours of training from Homeland Security. I have done training with local law enforcement agencies. I helped set up active shooter preparation plans for local businesses in the area. This is one of my expertise, is going through active shooters, training, preparing for active shooters to happen at client sites, and helping clients set up plans and preparations and train their employees how to deal with an active shooter. This is stuff that you want to do in advance before one ever happens, because the time for planning is not when it is happening. It is before it ever happens. Active shooter situations usually wind up taking lives in a huge number. The active shooter winds up ending the situation either by suicide by cop, killing themselves, being caught by the cops and surrendering, or being subdued by the people they're attacking. Right? And it's a horrible situation to be in. But there are ways to survive active shooters. You don't take it lightly. You don't bring a gun to work when you're not allowed to bring a gun to work. But what you can do is prepare and plan. I teach security guards how to handle the active shooter situations all the time. Members of my staff have been trained by me on how to respond to an active shooter, because let's face it, Bone Tactical, the way he's approaching the situation is what he believes a security guard should do. But no, you do not approach it that way as a security guard. As a security guard, whether you're armed or unarmed, your whole responsibility is the safety of everybody at that site. And if you're inside the building when the shooting starts happening, as a guard, whether you're armed or unarmed, preferably armed, but if you're armed, you do have your weapon with you. That weapon is to be used to defend yourself and getting people out of the building to safety. If you're unarmed and you're a security guard, your job is the same, to get people out of that building and to safety as quickly and quietly as possible. If you have to fight, fighting or shooting the attacker, whether armed or unarmed, as a security guard, is the last thing you do. Your job is not to go hunting down the active shooter. Your job is to get the people to safety. You keep tabs on the shooter if you can, and when possible, you call 911. There's going to be floods of phone calls during an active shooter situation saying that there's a shooter in the building and giving the address. Knowing the shooter's exact location helps law enforcement get to that shooter quickly and take action. Whether the active shooter gives themselves up, gets subdued by other individuals who had no other option but to fight to save their lives and everybody else's, or whether the law enforcement officers confront the active shooter takes their own life, or the active shooter commits suicide by cop. The way Bone Tactical is explaining this is the worst way to explain how to handle an active shooter situation. And like I said, I will leave links in the video description to places where you can learn how to actually handle an active shooter situation. What you need to do so you're prepared just in case something happens.